Sorry, I'm just like trying to make it open.
Can you describe your healing journey in one word?
Transformative.
Hopeful.
Evolving.
Embodiment.
Empowering.
Slow.
Healing Movement, we're a 501c3 incorporated nonprofit. We got founded this year, January 27th in 2025. I really believe survivors, we are continuing to break our cycles of violence, and that means that we have to be continuously resilient and fight for what we believe in and fight for our worth. And so this organization really also started with friendship. I asked a couple of my dear friends who I knew were also survivors, so David and Danielle are our board of directors, and we decided, let's create a mission where we really notice how movement comes into play for survivor healing. So our mission is empower survivors through movement in community. What that looks like is we provide trauma-informed yoga for our community on the west side of Chicago, along with different dance classes such as a ballet. So it's called Love Yourself Ballet that we started this week. And we really believe that different types of movements can be a really great way to bring community together and bring different forms of healing together. And so our organization was not only able to provide movement classes, but also different survivor emergency funding.
At the Puerto Rican Cultural Center, under the VPI umbrella, we're all about healing our community. So when we're bringing yoga, it's another form of healing on top of boxing, on top of the physical activities that we do. So bringing different activities, different programming to the youth and to our community is what we want to do.
7, 6, as much as you can. You don't have to reach your feet.
DV especially, people have been through that, the feeling of helplessness of being in a situation that you can't necessarily change or control. When you live through that and you have to carry that with you, that experience, it's really helpful to do things like this so that you can find yourself in more and more situations where you do have control over your body. You do have control, you regain your sense of agency in a controlled environment, and you start to program that part of your brain over the trauma responses.
Like the historical aspect of this community, you've probably never seen so many young men doing yoga in the middle of the afternoon with so much violence around them, so much, trauma around them that's been in this community, and this investment into this community, to feel them being at peace, to see them, enjoying themselves and really fulfilling their souls with yoga. It was a moment I had to take in as well.
External energy. Okay, so now you're going to take a moment to inhale and exhale.
Our volunteers that come in to these classes is it's amazing. Talk about most fulfilling parts, to be able to see the connections that are built in this space between volunteers, between youths, between our young adults and our little kids, and the mentorship connections that happen there. Seeing our kids walk out together and going to get dinner after practice together, and Ram being a huge part of fostering those connections.
For me, it's like a second home, like a second family. It's all the staff and him, and some of the other fighters out there. You come in, you try. If you don't like it, you just don't do it. But hey, if you like it, then
there's no pressure.
So take a moment to inhale. Honor yourself for showing up today. Exhaling what no longer serves. Inhaling, lift your arms up. Can you say it out loud? Neuroplasticity. That is a beautiful term.
After
every time I did yoga, I felt better, like as far as my workouts and everything, like the next day. And I'm learning that there is a lot more to this than just movement. Like it helps with like the mental or just unlocking things about yourself. Inhale back into forward lean. Exhale.
What do you wish more people understood about domestic violence and the healing process?
It's not simple because we put it on Instagram all the time and we talk about it and we say it and we tattoo it, you know, but healing's not fucking linear. It's not. Yeah. Like yesterday, I'll speak with my own personal experience. Yesterday, I went to hot yoga, I worked out, I hit my calorie count. Like I did all the things yesterday, and today the only thing I could do was come here. Like that's the only thing I can get up and do at that point. But I did it, and that was my capacity today after grieving all these instances of domestic violence that I've encountered. But a win is a win.
And we want to celebrate your win, Angel. We're
Thanks.
making it Tuesday.
Thanks.
If it's the smallest amount, like I catch myself looking in the mirror, and it sounds so cheesy, just looking yourself in the mirror and just like looking at that one specific thing that bothers you. It's just you just have to choose kindness with yourself, and eventually you'll just levitate towards people who also treat themselves kindly and have similar goals with you, similar visions, values, and it makes healing encouraging.
Healing is a journey alone. Like you'll go through times where you're at the top of the mountain and you're feeling wonderful, and then there's something that could trigger you and you're like right back at the bottom of the mountain. So it's important to just stay on task with the things that you have, the routines that you've created in your healing journey.
I wish more people knew that it's not just like easy to leave. Like people say like, oh, you're in a hard situation, just go. But it's so complicated to just leave, and often we need like a whole support system and a strategy to get out.
Ultimately, domestic violence is about control. Someone is exerting control to maintain you in their life. And a lot of people get hung up on, the popularized depictions of domestic violence where, somebody's punching somebody else, somebody's putting cigarettes out on somebody else's body, and in real life, it is much, much more frequent and common than that. Those are the situations that are so popularized that people know them and stay away from them, whereas there are much more subtle and routine ways that people exert control over others and place others under duress.
So Love Your Soul Ballet, that's right now Leavenworth Public Library, was so crucial because the instructor who's teaching that now was actually my ballet instructor. We were talking, I was like, I really can imagine a beautiful ballet class on the west side.
Everyone say, I'm ready to listen. So good. Okay, what we're gonna do next is called dégagé. Can we say dégagé? Dégagé. It's a very special word, and it's similar to tanji.
I'm a survivor myself, and so this is something that was really, really near and dear to me. And dance actually got me out of a very toxic, poisonous relationship, and I know if I didn't have dance, I wouldn't be where I am now. And so I hope that not just healing through movement, but just people who are exposed to dance and movement, whether it's yoga or boxing, taekwondo, it's just having that connection with yourself. It can get you out of anything and everything, and knowing that you're not alone. There's this quote that says, when words fail, music speaks. But when I think about it, it's not just when words fail, music speaks. It's like when all of that fails me, I have movement, I have dance, and that's what gets me through everything.
Front to the back, front
to the back. We're gonna close first. We get a chair right over here. Perfect.
I moved to the North Lawndale area 20 years ago. And actually, I've been kind of like in my corner of the world, okay? Right on 12th Place in Holman, and really haven't gotten a feel for all that North Lawndale has to offer. So that love and ballet, the subject in itself said, oh, that sounds like a good thing to get my grandson involved in. I think they're doing a great job. It's my first day here. And like I said, my grandson's he's in a world of his own. So if they can get him to cooperate, participate in the program, they're doing a top-notch job.
Healing and Movement's mission is empowering survivors through community and movement. I felt really connected with the mission, not only just personally, but how it has impacted our youth ambassadors, for example, or survivors who are attending all of their programs with yoga. I'm a dancer, and that has empowered me so much over the years. And that excitement, that feeling, and that bond, it created such like a healing energy. And a lot of my work isn't necessarily visual. However, I started realizing how much it mattered. Just doing all of the small things you wouldn't think would help a survivor. It made me realize like how much effort that I'm putting in, even through small efforts every day, and making sure that it's all sustainable, and making sure my team feels supported in helping a survivor move out or helping a survivor have emergency funding. I think like as a DV survivor myself, I'm learning so much through stories that survivors are saying, or even with our team personally. And I think about my story a lot. And with that, I don't feel alone anymore. I feel empowered. I didn't even know like these resources existed. With that knowledge, like I'm able to now support other survivors. We're not even just like building an org together, but we're like building something that could help a lot, and something that has helped a lot of people in our community.
I connected with Healing and Movement through ROM. I run a night technology studio. So just hearing about the mission, started off as a yoga student. And I just was very empowered by their mission and how they were helping out the youth and the community. I think domestic violence is something that kind of gets swept under the rug. I feel like not only my family members or other parts of my family have been impacted by domestic violence, I've seen firsthand just the work that Healing and Movement has done, so which just empowers me to continue to support them. I think, through not only through like a corporate sponsorship view, but also just really sort of educating not only myself, but my team members around domestic violence can help bring in a new culture, right? Bring in a new culture of awareness, whether that mean, direct contributions to organizations like Healing and Movement, or just being able to support others with different strategies and different methods in terms of just being aware. I think that's a big thing that people sort of overlook. How are we actually making efforts to improve not only their mental stability or their mental capacity to deal with certain issues, but also are they educating them in terms of understanding what domestic violence is and how it can be impacted towards them or impacted towards their community. And domestic violence is also things that you have in the household with your own family, right? If you get in a fight with your sister, right? That is quote unquote domestic violence. And so really just making folks aware of the different versions. I think one of the things that Healing and Movement, again, is just they have a educational part of their organization, which I really believe in. Like, how can we take your mission back with us so we can implement that into our own communities and our own daily lives? others. Healing looks like being able to grow, to continue to expand. I think it's a mixture of both accountability, but also responsibility. So like as, whether we believe it or not, we do have an impact in our individual community. So I think healing is really growing in our knowledge and ourselves as an individual so we can make a better impact on the world. I think that's what, as small as it may be, I think that's all our role is to continue to better ourselves so we can better others.
What's your hope for the future, for yourself and for the people you serve?
All the way up.
I see us launching more programs. I see us having more attendees, growing in different areas in our community. I know we are branched from the west side and the south side of Chicago. I would like to see a lot more of our youth involved in our programs. That was an eye-opener for me when I saw youth go to yoga-informed classes after attending their boxing with our community partner with Battle Bandera. As a kid, I think it's important to keep those kind of activities within our lives, especially because that's how we create connections. I strongly believe that it also helps create our confidence and our strength, keeping ourselves involved. And that's what I want to see more of. I want to see more teens or young adults take more of these programs. It was very late until I realized how much movement actually impacted my life in a positive way. And I'm excited to see our growth and continuing that to our youth ambassadors or just the younger pool in general. I want people to feel excited to commit and devote themselves into any movement program. If it is ballet, if it is boxing or yoga or whatever it is, I try to strongly encourage to keep that activity with our community.